Last shot on its way. Looks like they're trying to sweep it for curl here, get it over there. And gets a piece, rolls out, but looks like she'll pick up her deuce and take the lead 2-1.
You're not loud.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Back here in the third end. Looks like hit and roll out and have a wide open end here to start. Lead second rock. Draws in their top 8. Looks like Kleider's looking to throw up the corner guard.
Nice corner guard by Hannah Johnson. These two teams have worked extremely hard this year. I was mentioning earlier about how both of them have had such success in both women's and juniors. And some of these players are in U18 and Canada Games and Winter Games age groups as well. So extremely advanced curling levels for the ages we're seeing out here, and fantastic shot making so far.
It's like playing the double here. Or, sorry, I missed that call. No, it's a double.
Yeah, I believe they're looking to just roll under as well.
It's a pretty good roll. Doesn't remove both reds, but that's a good shot. So, Sarah, you were telling me during the break there about the coaches in the back.
Yeah. So in junior curling a couple of years ago, they introduced coaches being on the ice. In a lot of ways, this mimics what you would have at a national level where the coaches are at a table like you see on TV, and players can somewhat interact with their coaches in between ends and for timeouts. And it really is a fantastic way to have the coach check in with the team check in with the coach, just to make sure everything's on the same page, and moving forward well with the team. With the coach on the ice as well, they're hearing what the teams are saying. So in a lot of ways, it makes things like timeouts easier when the coaches know kind of the thought process on the ice and whether or not to call that timeout.
Have they, you said that's a couple of years now they've been doing that?
Yeah, it's just been a couple years. It was introduced, and I want to say 2019-ish. It was introduced, maybe 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, just pre-COVID.
And yeah, looks like it's doing good. Gives the skips just that extra little help when they need it. So
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think it also gives some younger teams a stronger confidence level, knowing that, their coach is out there, and not necessarily, behind the glass, what are they thinking?
yeah,
It's just that close contact to a person.
right, yeah. It's like a hit and roll away here. Looks like just laying the one. This is I believe this is the B semifinal game. Winner will go on to the B final against Taylor, who lost the A final earlier today. I believe that put Kessel in the 1-2 page playoff game already.
All of these teams are so close in skill and in talent. They all train so hard, and it's really interesting to see, how far juniors has come in terms of shot making, calling the game, but also how the teams train off the ice as well. So I'm not surprised that all of these games have been extremely close.
Yeah, there's been some good curling. I watched a few earlier this week here, so it's like we're on this be third's last rock here. for Pomedley.
The third for Pomedley is the mixed doubles champion with her mixed doubles partner. So not only are a lot of these curlers, excelling in juniors, but they're also excelling in two-person play as well. So it's really nice to see that the sport is evolving that way too, giving, more opportunity for people to curl.
Yeah, for sure. Hit and roll out there, but they're still laying one behind cover. Looks like they're looking to draw up to it. Oh, here's what you're talking about. Opportunity to discuss with the coach. So is it unlimited? They can talk to the coach an unlimited amount of times?
I'm not too sure right now what the rule is. I know when they first introduced it, it was once per end for a
Okay.
specific amount of time. Then it was changed or modified to be so much thinking time used up.
Okay.
I'm not sure this year what the rule is on that or what the ruling is, but I can definitely look it up here for the next game.
Sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, no, all good. It's a really good question, and I should probably know that answer, but I know in my last year of juniors, it was once per end that you could consult with your coach, and it wasn't like a full timeout. It was just more of like a check-in consultation of, yep, this is the right shot, or nope, you should be drawing or hitting instead.
Right.
It wasn't a full-on conversation, and a lot of times that helped because you knew that one key shot per end. If you were out to lunch, your coach would step in. Yeah, and
Yeah.
funny enough, I was actually playing third for Clyder the year that was introduced. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, my sister is now playing in that spot. So
Ah,
yeah, and then well, with the world of junior curling being so close knit, the Pomedley team has several players on their team who are also playing together for winter games.
okay.
Um, so yeah, I think, it's really nice that there can be lots of opportunity for people to play together for many years. That once wasn't necessarily the case.
Right. Yeah. Not to date myself, but it's been over 20 years since I was in juniors. So there were no coaches on the backboard, that's for sure.
No.
But Reds definitely got to be careful on this next shot here. So were you on Clyder's team when they won the provincial championship?
No, I played with Clyder the year after some of my teammates aged out. I played with Sarah England, and then when her and Jade Gable aged out, I played with Clyder's team,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe it was the year after that they won. So clearly, I didn't necessarily help that any. But they've had some tremendous success, and so has the Pomedley team. So this is going to be a really good game to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I actually know a little bit about the junior women curling circuit here because my coworker's daughter used to play on Team Taylor last year. So
Oh, nice.
so I did watch a few games just over the last couple of years. So I know that I think, did you have your own team then, or did your sister have their own team before in the past?
Yeah, so my sister did, and Jenna, as well as Kelsey, who play on Pomedley's team, played with my sister that year that she had a team. So
Okay.
yeah, it's very tight knit, as we were discussing earlier. And the Pomedley team is gearing up for another couple months of competitive curling with the under 18s, as well as some of the winter games. And the
Right.
Collider team is actually heading to the provincial women's Scotties next weekend. They secured a berth to ladies.
Wow, that's good for them.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Collider has a shot for 2 here.
It looks like it.
Looks like it'll be a pretty good shot. They're cleaning it in. And yeah, sticks around for 2.
Nice. Wonderful.
Back on top.
As we were talking about the coaches, both teams' coaches have a tremendous track record as well. I mean, Pomedley's team, having Vern Anderson as a coach, is absolutely tremendous. Vern has done so much competitive curling as well as coaching. And with Collider's team having
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
So the unique thing about Stringham is, although we've grown, we still maintain the small town law feel.
And it's important to Stringham to go into those communities, to provide those high-level legal services to our community members, and to live in those communities, to support those communities, and to help those communities grow and thrive.
tuning back in here, before the break, I was just mentioning how lucky these two teams are to have the coaches they do, and as well as all the other junior teams at this event. Coaching in junior curling is so extremely important. These two teams, Paul Medley's team has Vern Anderson, which, Vern has done so much in the world of curling, both as a curler and as a coach. And you look at Dean Kleider coaching Maddie, who has both done so much as a curler and as a coach. And you look at some of the successes that these coaches' teams have had in the past. I mean, Vern coached the U18 boys to an international gold medal. You look at Dean coaching Maddie's older brother, Ryland, and their team to several national competitions, including, playoffs and semis in national events. So both fantastic coaches, and it shows based on the level of curling we're seeing tonight.
Yeah, and I think, actually, I'm not sure if Kleider is going to the Tankard or not. I don't remember, actually. I just checked that out recently, too.
I think they might be. And talking about the women on the ice tonight, Paul Medley's team did extremely well at the Ladies Last Chance Spiel, competing and winning against many established women's teams in the province. So they're definitely a team that is strong and also competitive beyond their years, which is phenomenal to see.
Yeah, for sure. They got many years to come still.
Oh, yeah.
I just confirmed they did make it. So
wonderful.
Looks like they're just looking to play the hit here. We weren't live during the first end there, but it was pretty wide open. I believe the 1 point was a hit and stick. So it looks like both teams just trying to keep the ends fairly open here so far in the game. Just trying to draw around here. Looks like a pretty good shot. Gonna try the run back. Nice shot there. Got them both. Left the guard though, so gives them a chance to put one back there.
Looking at these teams, I look at their jackets and think about how fortunate we are in Saskatchewan to be able to, secure so many sponsors. So for anyone watching the live stream, if you notice any of the sponsors on any of the girls' jackets, definitely look at supporting those businesses, as those businesses are the ones that support junior curling and support curling in the province.
Yeah, the sponsors are they help cover the kids' costs, whether it's entry fees, travel costs. There's lots of costs involved in curling nowadays. Lots of time. I mean, I'm sure lots of parents are. Well, actually, you know what? You probably can answer this question better. Did your team just jump in the car and go to the Bonspiels, or did you guys have your parents still?
Oh gosh, yeah, our parents drove us. I mean, I'm 24 years old, and sometimes I still ask my mom and dad for a ride to the rink.
Okay, so
But yeah, no, the costs of curling now is getting, quite high, but it's like any sport. You have your equipment, you have your travel, you have your entry fees. And in a lot of ways, the sponsors help with that, but they also help with the training costs.
yes,
There's a lot of costs associated with, nutritionists, mental coaching. You have, you know, uh, different types of like therapy that you can go to if you have an injury, that sort of thing. So the sponsorship goes beyond just what you see on the ice. It goes into a lot of the behind the scenes. Saskatchewan's lucky to have a high performance program, and a lot of teams put some funds into entering into that high performance program to get access to, coaches and mental trainers and strategists.
right. Like rub the guard there. Still got in for a biter. Yeah, teams nowadays put a lot more time and money into their training. Definitely a lot more than they did in the past, which is probably why you see the top teams, whether it's in junior curling or men's and women's, are pretty consistent at the top. They're at the top for years.
Absolutely, absolutely. And two, I mean, a lot of the junior curlers are curlers and their students.
Right.
And so there's not much room for anything else in their lives. So when it comes to training, the training really is, your opportunity to be with the people you enjoy being around and then getting at that next level. You often don't see curlers curling at this level who, have uh, 1,000 things other than curling going on. Usually it's quite focused, and they're very concentrated and dedicated to the sport.
Right. Nose hit there. Just gonna play the come around now. Oh, is this last shot? Sorry, it's tricky to see. No, it's not. It's not.
No, there's 2 more after this.
Yeah. I'm still having some technical difficulties on my end on the screen here, so. No one hung out there, but the weight wasn't bad, but there'll be a opportunity here for a hit and roll behind. Last shot coming up here for Kleider. Nice roll. Looks like there might still be a piece there. But she is elected to draw.
Jenna's draw game is quite strong. Their hit game is extremely strong as well. But it's fantastic to see curlers with the confidence to just say, nope, although there's a rock in the 4-foot, we're going to outdraw it, which is something that I know even just a couple years ago wasn't necessarily the level that we were playing at, and now we see this level of curling, and it's fantastic to see that it's evolved to the point where skips are just ready and willing to outdraw something on the 4.
Yeah. Looks like they're working it pretty hard. Looks like the weight's pretty good. Looks like gets her 1, ties up the game.
At Viterra, we believe in the power of connection. Our world-leading agriculture network connects producers and consumers to supply top-quality food ingredients each and every day. Our team takes great pride in working closely with farmers to help feed the world. It's something we've been doing for over 100 years. And as an industry leader, we're dedicated to playing a critical role in meeting the needs of a growing world. Because together, we're stronger and achieve more.
There's no doubt running any kind of farm comes with day-to-day challenges. We built a new facility 2 years ago. Technology has totally revolutionized dairy farming. Sask Milk gives us the tools to provide high quality standard of milk, making sure our equipment is all well taken care of, make sure that those animals are housed and cared for appropriately. They continue to push us with their standards to make sure that it just gets better and better.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
Back here in the 5th end. Tie game. Kleider's got hammer again. And looks like this will be another fairly wide open end with the first rock going in the house and playing the hit. Sarah, are you aware? Are they playing the no tick rule here? Did that make its way down, or is that still just in the upper levels where they play that?
I'm not too sure, but
Oh, you might have broke up a bit there.
oh, sorry. Am I back here?
I think so.
Oh, wonderful. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, we might have lost her again. The hit and roll out, the end's wide open, and just drawn in again. Putting up the corner guard. Looks like Pomedley's fine with the blank. Oh, maybe not. Another coach's talk going on here. Maybe telling her to look at the score and decide what to do. It'd be good to force here, keep hammering the even ends. Scoring her one last end got the hammer away from them in the even ends, so that's it's always positive to have hammer in the 10th end if you can. Yeah, she's changing things up, being more aggressive, going for the center guard. Weight looks pretty good. They're just watching it in there. Gets the guard. And Medley's going to draw behind her corner guard. Oh. And another coach's talk. Going to open up the center. Try to leave herself with 2 corner guards.
So I couldn't find anything to say that they weren't using that they were using the no tick rule here in juniors.
Okay.
And I just went on the Curling Canada page for the junior curling rules.
So it doesn't sound like it, you're thinking?
No, it doesn't sound like it.
I mean, I don't think that like the tick is part of the game in the junior curling too, but it might not be used as often as it is in the men's and women's.
Yeah. I also think too that just because curling that they're introducing it, and that they introduced it this year, it might be something that they adopt in the future.
Right. I know they're not. I mean, I know they're using the no tick rule and the big events that they're putting on, but I don't actually know if they're using it in the Tankard and the Scotties either. Actually,
I believe they might be using it at the Scotties Provincials, just because they used it at some of our last events of the season.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I thought that it would have changed our strategy more than it did, but for the way we liked to play games, it didn't really affect us all that much. I can see it affecting teams who are really good at the tick and who play it often. We often weren't in a situation where we were looking to do that, but yeah, I can see it either affecting teams tremendously or not affecting them almost at all. So yeah.
I think it's a good rule for TV. I mean, that those guys are playing on amazing ice, and they can make almost any shot that they call. And when a team got up 3 points, the game was almost over because when they could just tick the center guards away all the time, right? So it's
Yep.
definitely opened it up a lot, or actually not. It's not as open as it is when they later in the ends. It gives teams a chance to come back, I guess is what I'm trying to say, which is definitely a lot more fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Looks like that draw was a bit heavy through the house. Later will have a chance to draw behind again. This one's not going to make it by. Yeah. Medley will give it a try now. You probably know all these curlers by their first names. I'm definitely not that good.
Yeah, it's honestly it's nice that they curl in the women's events. And I'm not too far removed from juniors. But Saskatchewan curling really is fantastic for being able to get to know people and connect with people. It's not like there's thousands and thousands of junior curlers. There's, like a small handful, so makes things a little bit more personal.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like they'll attempt the run back here. Hanging out, peels off the front, but leaves that red one in there. She'll have a chance to split the house, and the force will be on. So a lot of the time, the junior women's events are on when the junior men's events are on. Is that like that all throughout the year at the Bonspiels and stuff too?
That's what it was like when I was going through juniors. I know that there are a couple events here and there that aren't together,
Okay.
but for the most part they are. And even some of the larger spiels, not just the Q spiels, but some of the spiels are together.
Yep.
And then based on who hosts the Q spiels, that's when they have to separate them. So if it's either a smaller rink or if there's lots of entries, then they'll split the men's and women's.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And when you were in juniors, did they often do men's and women's together as well?
No, I would have to say no. I don't think that they did. I mean, that again, it's over 20 years ago, and I'm trying to remember a few events, but I'm pretty sure most of our events were separate. Ladies and men's were separate.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel there's definitely a lot more teams too back then. In the some of the qualifying spiels that they would have, it wasn't odd to see 12 to 16 teams in those. So
Yeah. Absolutely.
nice hit and roll there. Back when I was in juniors, I was playing against guys like Steve Laycock, who's had a good career after juniors. Well, he's the one I can remember the most, because there was this. My family will always tells me, they always bring up this one game that was at a qualifying spiel 20 some years ago. It was the 10th end, and Steve Laycock was definitely the team to beat that year. And we had one on the button, bunch of guards in front. He threw his last rock. It was hanging outside. Looks like we were going to get the win, and it picked and went straight to the button for him to count, tie the game up, and he ended up winning it in extra ends. But that's my claim to fame, almost beating Steve Laycock.
I love it. That's fantastic. That's how curling goes, though. I mean, like,
Yep.
sometimes you can have the best game of your life, and then one picked rock changes things, or vice versa.
Yeah, exactly. Ice was definitely seemed to be more dirty back in the day. That was back in the day where people just wore like the knitted slider covers on their shoes. So I don't know if you would remember things like that, but there were no such thing as grippers.
Yeah. And I think too, the changing of broom heads has
Yes.
affected that too. I mean, there's no horsehair heads out there either.
Yeah, that too.
And I know that obviously now the broom head covers are maybe a little bit more expensive to put on your broom, but I think they do kind of help at keeping things a little bit cleaner as well.
Yep, that's
And
true.
I think there's also awareness. Like oftentimes rinks have the boot boys or the sticky pads to get stuff off your shoes.
Yep. Definitely a different game. So that was a blank. Going into the break here, we're still tied at 3.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
So the unique thing about Stringham is, although we've grown, we still maintain the small town law feel.
And it's important to Stringham to go into those communities, to provide those high-level legal services to our community members, and to live in those communities, to support those communities, and to help those communities grow and thrive.
Curl Sask is proud to announce Friday, January 27th as the Affinity Credit Union Curling Day in Saskatchewan. We reached out to Saskatchewan for help with creating a new t-shirt design for this special day. We received over 20 submissions from people all over the province. But there could only be one winner. Congratulations to Amy Fredette from the Estevan Curling Club. Curl Sask is so excited to use this design for our Provincial Day of Curling on January 27th.
Today, online bullying is more common than ever, but there is help. Sasktel wants to solve this problem. It's why they created Be Kind Online. If you're a victim of online bullying or know someone who is, or even if you just want to stop it from happening to anyone, this is a place to learn what you can do. You can find lots of tools and tips to help you stand up to cyberbullying. Be Kind Online is a place to learn how to stay safe as well, to learn best practices and plans to stop cyberbullying before it even has a chance.
Sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Back here for the 6th end, and first rock slides into the house. Oh, I missed a rock there in the back again.
Great sweeping from the Pomedley sweepers.
She's going to take on the double here. Ooh, flashed that one, unfortunately. Pomedley will be able to put some pressure on here.
Especially with control of the front of the house that way.
Yeah. I think she's talking with her coach. I'm not sure. You could throw up a center guard here, or you could come behind. Oh, she's going to play the center guard. I think the weight's not too bad on this one. Nice shot. She's going to take on the double again here. see, this would be the second. Rihanna? I found a list of names now, so I can use people's names instead of just red and yellow.
Rihanna has a lot of fantastic experience under her belt. Rihanna not only played with Kleider, she's also played with Ashley Thevenot at the U18s several years ago. So she has a wealth of knowledge and experience under her belt at such a young age. And Ashley later went on to win the provincial juniors a few years later. So Rihanna's curled with some fantastic rinks over the years, mainly with Kleider, winning the provincial juniors, as well as the provincial Winter Games.
The Winter Games, are they held every 4 years, just like the Olympic Games?
Yeah, exactly. So they're held every 4 years. Curling runs ours slightly differently. So we have our Winter Games, and then from there we do Canada Games trials.
Okay.
So the winners of Winter Games do not always go on to represent Saskatchewan at the Canada Games, which is held afterwards.
Okay.
And some notable alumni for that would be people like Amber Holland, who competed in the Winter Games, and people like Skylar Ackerman, who's now curling in women's. So yeah, some great curlers go through the program, and it's wonderful to see that Pomedley's team is doing so fantastic in that program as well.
Yeah, for sure. That was a nice run back double by Kleider. So you mentioned Ackerman. I also curled against what was his name? Another Ackerman, but I'm just wondering, is she young or older, Skylar?
Skylar's younger. So Skylar actually Chantel curled with Skylar for several years, and oftentimes competed against Maddie and Jenna, who we see both skipping tonight. So yeah, Skylar Ackerman is younger. Her older brother Carson also represented Saskatchewan at the Canada Games. Yeah, it's fantastic to see how the Saskatchewan Winter Games and the Canada Games can really spark an interest in a whole age group of people and cohorts that continue to be in that cohort up until women's and through women's and men's. It's great.
Yeah. I used to play against Jason Ackerman, so he would have been probably older than both of those, maybe just a relative of them. Kleider's gonna just draw on top here since Pomedley went to the back. This would be the third. Oh, this is Chantel. Comes the stop at the back four. Again, looks like Medley's looking to just draw up to it. Third for her is Alyssa Remichello, which I believe I curl against her mom and dad. I think she's from Mormon, if I'm correct. If I am correct.
Yeah, her older sister Amy curled at the same time as I was curling. They're a fantastic, fantastic curling family.
Yes.
So shout out to the Rumshallows who are listening tonight.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever beat any of them. They always kick our butts, but they're always fun to curl against.
They have a family team in the Martinsville League, so I often see them, and just a fantastic curling family, but also like the curling dynamic is just wonderful. It's often that we see curling families, and it's great when people can curl together.
Yep, for sure. It's like they come up. Clater comes up late as well, so still just the one yellow in the back. And they're going to play the draw around as well. This would be Skip's first rock. They're on it early here, but lots of room still to curl in there. Weight looks really good. See if we can get the line here. Not quite, but definitely cuts off that draw path. We'll see. Is Clater going to play their bump up? Couple options on that one.
Yeah, I agree. It's oh, and coach is looking at it. We might see one of those communication moments.
Yeah, he looks like he likes to tap on the other side, but
Yeah.
yes, he does.
And we saw the coach, shuffle to the side to get a better view. That's also a benefit of having the coaches on the ice is, you're not just sitting in your chair with one view. You can kind of move to see what's going on in some situations.
Yep.
Which also helps with, when and why to call timeouts.
So I don't think the clock stops when they call their little coach timeout here, does it?
No. And for the people at home, the clock is based on thinking time. So when the opposition stone stops, your clock starts, and then your clock will be paused when your thrower delivers their stone across the tee line. So it's no longer running time, which used to be where it was how much time it took the rocks to go back and forth. The thinking time definitely helps when you have teams who play really open ends with lots of hits. Then you can kind of bank that thinking time. And for juniors, it might mean that that's that extra couple seconds that your coach can talk to you each end. So it's great.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like she's elected to play the raise on this side after the coach's chat. Looks like they're trying to hold the line for that outside one, but it's going to tap it towards the edge of the rings there. To see, Paul Medley could play that raise on the center one, or possibly angle that one she threw first and onto the forefoot as well. Looks like that's what she's looking at. Looks like they elected to go with the angle tap. Stone on its way. Really working it to hold the line. Needs to. Oh, looks like it just needed to move another couple inches. Weight looked pretty decent on that one.
Yeah.
Is she gonna try this run back for 3 maybe?
It's definitely there, and definitely it's definitely possible.
Yeah. Oh, coach is up again.
Perhaps weighing out the risk.
Yeah. I don't mind that shot. It looks pretty risk-free, I would think, don't you think?
Yeah, the only risk I see is if you over curl and go
Yeah.
across the top, or if you go through the reds and kind of take your own out. I mean, I could see playing like a soft weight tap on the red, like kind of around the guard, but I don't know. I like the run.
Yeah. It's a good chance to open up the game here.
But again, I play second, so whenever I see a run, I'm like, yeah, throw it.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like looking at shots over here, just definitely just be for the 2. Those taps aren't easy either, but there is less risk to take your own out because you'll be playing quieter weight. Oh, looks like she's just trying to tap it to the 4-foot for 2. Definitely needs to make a move here. It's also hanging out. I wonder if they're going to switch it up for plan B here if she has enough weight to take that red right out. Look at this. Looks like plan B worked. Oh, not
Or
quite.
did it?
Not quite.
So close. But you know what? Those plan Bs, you always have to have them in your head, looking
Yep.
for them.
So Clutter picks up 1 as we head to the 6th end break here. Looks like Hannah's the lead here for Team Kleider. She's throw with the first one. They're looking at the center guard.
Hannah works in aesthetics. She's quite the talented esthetician as well as curler. It's interesting because in juniors you have a range from, people in high school, people in university, people in college, and people working. And so it's always interesting to see, what people are up to because it's such a time of transition. And some teams have, one of each. Some people have all people working, some people have all students. So, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people also curl together that don't necessarily live in the same city anymore either.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that's the case with both of these teams.
Right.
We were talking earlier about curling families and the skip of Pomedley, Jenna Pomedley. Her brother is quite the talented curler as well. I believe he booked a spot to the men's tankard, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's really interesting to see. And his team also went through that Winter Games program. So yeah, Curl Sask is doing some great things with that program and the high performance program. That's really, accelerating Saskatchewan's ability to produce fantastic curlers.
Yeah, for sure. I missed which player did you say you think went on is in the tankard?
Jenna Pomedley's brother, Nathan Pomedley.
Does he play on someone else's team or?
He skips. However, I think this year I'm not too sure if he's skipping this year or not. I don't know for sure. But another fantastic young skip. And I don't know if he's playing with someone this year or if he's skipping a team.
Did you say Nathan? Is his name Nathan?
Yes.
Looks like he's on Dustin Keltoff's team, but they are at the
Oh,
tankard.
wonderful.
Yeah, he's playing lead for them.
Wonderful. So yeah, lots of curling families, and juniors produces a lot of curlers who go directly into playing on extremely competitive men's and women's teams.
Yeah, and something else I noticed this year is for U15 and U12 they have that triples curling. Do you know much about that?
Yeah, the triples curling, I've never played it, but I think it's such a great idea because sometimes, you've got a couple friends, but you might not have four people interested in curling or not have, four people your age at your rink. So I think triples is a great idea. Have you seen much of it?
No, my son is 13, but he never went in that this year. But I read a couple of the rules, and I think every player like gets a chance to try each position too. So I think they only throw 6 rocks and like 2 rocks per person, and then I think they each play um, a different position each end. I'm not sure how many ends the games are, but everything else is the same rules, I believe. And
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm hoping he might find a couple buddies and do one of them this year, just so I can see what it's all about. But if not, definitely next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's a great introduction to curling. And I mean, if there's less rocks in play and or less rocks thrown, it also increases the opportunity to, build that repertoire of strategy.
Right. Yes, exactly. Glider's looking to freeze onto that one on the button there. Little bump off, but a good shot. I was just checking the other scores here. I see there is, I believe these are both other C games. Todd and Schlechter are tied 2-2 after 6. Did I say that name right? I think I did. And Kesserling and Reschers. Kesserling's up 6-5 after 5. Got rid of the guard there. I believe she's looking to replace the guard.
Chantel was the alternate for the Team Canada Youth Olympic team a couple years ago when Canada. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to think here if it was just pre-COVID or just post-COVID. But yeah, she was the alternate for Team Canada, and a lot of that came from and through the opportunities that Winter Games allowed for. So she was able to, attend some of the next gen camps that Curling Canada has been putting on, and I think that those next gen camps are fantastic for, the next generation of competitive curler. And I know many other of our Saskatchewan teams competing this evening have gone to camps similar to the next gen camp or the high performance training that Curl Sask offers. So yeah, great opportunities and to compete, but also to train.
Yeah. The next gen camps, are those like 1-day things or what are those?
I couldn't tell you because I haven't been invited to one, but I've heard great things.
Back in the day, there used to be the Prairie Land curling camp. It was a week-long thing. I remember I went once. It was in the summer. The kids were all billeted, and yeah, it was just a week of curling in the summer, and they had other activities to do when you weren't curling, and it was good to meet other curlers and just to get some extra curling in the off season. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure most of these teams are doing some kind of training all year round anyway, whether it's working out in the gym or meeting with, as you mentioned, all kinds of other mental coaches and things like that to help improve their games.
Absolutely. Yeah, the Prairie Land camp is fantastic. It also allows teams to meet each other and form up their teams. Because as you said before, a lot of these teams aren't all from the same town.
Yeah.
So with the Prairie Land, you could use it as training, but also as networking.
So that's still going on? I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, and I believe it's like a camp series now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice shot there to lay 2. But Claytor will have a chance to get them both out of there. This will be her first shot, first stone. Rock on its way. Just over curls a bit. Hits and rolls in front. Not too bad there. Most likely going to have to deal with that one. Looking for the corner freeze. Looks like this one might have a little bit extra weight on it. Sweepers are just watching it.
Yeah, let's see if it curls enough just to kind of tick off that yellow.
Just a little heavy. We'll assume that Glider will try the double here again. This one looks like it's going to be close. Nice shot. Leaves them laying 2, and looks like the forces Pomedley to the 1 with the hit and stick here.
And with that hit and stick, it would bring the game to be tied at 4-4. In the, I'm thinking here at 6.
This is 7.
Oh
7.
my gosh. So it would be then after 7. Thank you. Sorry, my the little screen is too small.
I overtook my son's gaming computer, so I got a nice big screen to look at.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
This looks like a good shot to get her 1.
Okay, nice hit and stick here.
Yeah, so after 7, we're tied up at 4. Back here at the action in the 8th end. We're on, looks like Botman leads second rock here. Little heavy there, stops at the back of the house. And Kleider's going to use her corner guard. Looks like this one's coming in a bit heavy too. Playing the come around. Looks like she just squeaked that one by. A little bit heavy there.
A little bit heavy.
Yeah. Stops back 8, but looks like Kleider's going to open things up now. Ooh, just misses that back one, leaves the center guard. So Pomidley will just come behind that again. You mentioned a few times that curling and good family curling, curling families. That's what I was trying to say. But it's definitely nice to see because I mean curling all starts at the junior age, and I had taken my son to learn to curl in Martinsville, and they had 44 kids there, which I thought was good to see. It's good, definitely.
Wow,
good
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that like growing the sport is so important, especially with people who may not have had the chance or the opportunity prior to, or maybe their families didn't curl. And you know, they knew someone or their friend invited them out. It's always great to see the sport growing that way too.
For sure. And I've noticed curling in men's leagues that you see a lot of teams that just 4 guys that just picked up curling and are just there to have fun and drink
Oh, absolutely.
some beverages afterwards. So yeah, it's definitely good to see. It's there seems to be a more of a divide between the competitive teams now and the fun teams, but as long as people are having fun, no matter what skill level they are, then it really doesn't matter.
Even the mix of curling too. I know for myself, I've got a couple friends that were curling in the Thursday night league in Martinsville, and some of us have curled competitively, and for the one guy it was his first year out. And you know what, that's fun too, because it's for the competitive people, and now you're playing in a non-competitive space and you can just relax and have fun. for the non-competitive people, you can kind of taste the competitiveness or the desire to be competitive from the others. So yeah, I think it's great when communities can just get together and curl.
Yeah, for sure. I know some of my best memories are curling in small town bonspiels. They used to
Oh,
be,
absolutely.
they would have tons of teams. You would have dances and suppers. I mean, that stuff isn't quite as common nowadays, but it definitely would be nice to get back to doing stuff like that.
Actually, um, the third from Pomedley's team, Rama Shiloh, we were having a conversation about, what people have won in bonspiels, because so often competitive curlers are in cash events.
Mm-hmm.
And I think my favorite prize ever was the consolation prize, first team out at the Bengoff Open Bonspiel, small town Bonspiel. We got like a box of random things, and the bunny hugs I still wear. I think there was like some cutlery that I still use. Like, it's great. Like, it's fantastic.
Yeah, the good old days of picking your prizes and things like that. Yeah. And trophies. They used to give out trophies at all bonspiels too. I know my dad and has a ton of those things. It's like she just gets a piece of the front one there.
Yeah. I mean, this does leave the button open, but it also protects the three in the space, so. That's the trouble with rocks slipping in the back of the house. You're never too sure if you should guard them or what.
Yeah. Well, tight guard here isn't bad. If she freezes up to it, then you can always freeze up to her. It definitely puts a lot of pressure on her to try to score a deuce. That's what she's going to do. Just tap it back. Oh, looks like the coach is up again. And timeout. Not sure what he would be talking about here. Maybe he wants her to open things up.
Well, it looks like they're just tapping that red one back a little bit. Backline hack. This will probably help out, because as you were saying, if they freeze and then Pomedley freezes on them, Pomedley has a really good chance of getting a bundle here. But with a little tap back here, there won't be the same backing. So we'll see what happens.
See that hung out there on them.
Yeah. I think she tossed a little bit more than what they were wanting as well.
Yeah. So that gives Pomedley a chance to draw one in there, top four, behind that guard. Oh, timeout. I don't mind the draw top four. I'm not sure what else the coach sees here. Maybe he just didn't like the turn. Not having hammer, it's definitely better to take this turn if you come up light, whatever, you're on the center line. cutting down the scoring area for Clyder.
Absolutely, and it also protects your stones there too.
Yeah. They're working this one. Looks like it might come up a little light here. Oh. Third shot, but leaves some space for Clyder to get in there with her first one here. Just playing the draw around, top 4. Line looks pretty good. It's a great shot by Clyder.
Fantastic draw there.
Looks like she's just electing to freeze up to that. I don't know. Can you get by with enough weight to tap it back? I'm not sure, but with that ice,
I don't know.
with that ice, looks like the freeze. I think maybe just trying to freeze up to it, and making it tough to score a deuce.
The guard is pretty high, so even if you freeze up to it or just tap it back slightly, the sweepers are working on it pretty good.
Looks like just a draw. I mean, she could follow that down, just tap it back for 2. She just saw the path, and that's the side her draw was on too. Probably the easier of the shots.
I'd agree. And you also have some backing there.
Yeah. So this is the last rock of the end. Draw. Well, I guess I'll call it a draw / small tap for 2. They're on it early. Still hanging
Needs
out.
to curl though a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, not enough.
Not quite there. So just gets 1 and takes 5-4 lead after 8 ends of play.
The roaring game. We all love it, but sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. Don't get stuck in your curling club this year. Learn the game inside and out. Play for your favorite country and take the curling world by storm. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
So the unique thing about Stringham is, although we've grown, we still maintain the small town law feel.
And it's important to Stringham to go into those communities, to provide those high-level legal services to our community members, and to live in those communities, to support those communities, and to help those communities grow and thrive.
Back here in the 9th end. Claytor up 5-4.
It'll be interesting to see the strategies the teams take on this end, with it being so close in the 9th.
Yeah, she's coming around the center, so it's a little bit light, but comes to rest at the back there. Looks like this one's coming in heavy too. Might come up to that, come to the back of the house as well.
Yeah. I wonder if the ice is changing at all, or if there's just some overthrowing.
Yeah, not too sure. See if they're going to follow them down. Definitely trying to be above the tee line, though. Claytor's definitely going for the full-on steal here, or at least the force. We're going to see things try to be opened up here now. Just misses that red one there, but gets rid of the one guard. So the E here, Claytor will probably replace that one with the tighter guard.
Yeah, it's definitely shaping up to look like one of the teams will be counting this end. It's already lots of rocks in play, so I don't foresee a blank.
Good shot. I would assume that probably we'll try to open things up again here. Well, just got a piece of that one. Almost angled it back onto that yellow in the rings, but missed that one, and Kleider will replace that center guard.
The sun's going by really quickly here. I always find the later ends to be a little quicker than the earlier ends, and although that sounds backwards as there's more rocks in play, the finish is in sight and both teams are going hard, so.
Yep.
Well, that didn't curl as much as they had hoped, but the sweepers were going pretty hard on it. There was still a bit of a hole.
I think Pomelby's kicked that yellow rock at the back a couple times now. I just see her constantly putting it back into place. Shows how focused she is in the game, doesn't you?
Yeah, exactly. Laser focus on what's ahead.
Gets rid of the one that was in the way. The winner of this game will go to the B qualifier, which is tomorrow at 10 a.m. And the loser actually drops down to one of the C qualifiers at 3 p.m. tomorrow. But of course, they play the page system here, I've noticed. So definitely winning, qualifying with A or B and getting that 1-2 spot gives you that one more chance. If you happen to not have a good game, your first one in the playoffs there. That one looks like it didn't quite make it. I was told by my kids if someone hogs a rock that I had to do a certain saying. It goes back to an old video game of baseball, and they changed it to curling. And so I guess the saying goes, "She hogs the rock. I can't believe it." Kicks it off. My kids will like it. No one else will probably get that reference. But they told me I had to say it. So
I love that. I loved that so much. It's fun having those sports inside jokes.
yes.
I know after Chantel hogged that rock, she was probably thinking to herself, go to the penalty box, feel shame. From a slap shot, that was our big thing whenever we would miss a shot in curling. We'd say, go to the penalty box, feel shame.
Oh. Well, everybody has been heavy all game on their draws, and I'm sure she was trying extremely hard to take some weight off to get a guard there. And sometimes you just take off a little bit too much. I think Clyder's just replacing the guard again. That one over curls a bit. There's probably enough room to get by there and tap that back. I haven't seen huge finishing curl here, but it does finish with the right weight.
I would agree. I think they're thinking the same thing here.
And if she gets by that back red, she probably will get a small inside roll here too. This one's definitely going to be tight by that guard if they make it. Oh, there they go. I think they can get the inside roll here. Nice shot.
Fantastic. Jenna's really good at those clutch shots, and it shows in her confidence as she's going back. There's lots of self-efficacy, and it shows that these young teams just absolutely know what they're doing and how to do it and believe in their training.
Yeah, exactly. Something I've noticed a lot of the junior teams do nowadays is all the high fives and positive talk, which is, that's to say, a lot better than what we used to do 20 years ago. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm not sure, is Kleider, she was showing like she might freeze to that red, or is she trying to come behind it? Did you see what they decided on?
I think they're looking to go behind it, is my understanding.
That would make sense. They could lay one. Definitely a pressure shot here. Weight was good, but it looks like it hung out there. A chance for 3 for Pub Medley.
Yep. Those are such frustrating shots when you know you have the right weight, but they just don't come up enough, or when you know you have the right weight and they curl too much.
Yep. It's like the coach just discussing weight and ice with them. Just a nice quiet weight nose tap is all she needs here for her 3.
Oh, sweepers are on it. It must be really close. Now with just a clean.
Starts to come a bit here at the end still. Looks like she has more weight than what they were expecting. Jams it on the
And it'll
back.
just be for 2.
But that'll give her the 1-point lead, coming home 6-5. Collider will have the hammer. Exciting finish coming up.
Curl Sask is proud to announce Friday, January 27th as the Affinity Credit Union Curling Day in Saskatchewan. We reached out to Saskatchewan for help with creating a new t-shirt design for this special day. We received over 20 submissions from people all over the province. But there could only be one winner. Congratulations to Amy Fredette from the Estevan Curling Club. Curl Sask is so excited to use this design for our Provincial Day of Curling on January 27th.
Sometimes curling just isn't as fun as it can be on the Nintendo Switch. With up to 4 players per console, you can enjoy curling with your friends and family anywhere, anytime. Let's play curling. Available now only on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, and they'll do great.
Yeah.
Great sweeping here. We're seeing some fantastic sweeping this evening from both teams, where the broom head is under, your head, and then going under your chest so that the most amount of pressure and weight can be put on the broom. Not an easy thing to do, and both of these teams do it extremely well. So.
Yeah, with the new techniques for sweeping, it definitely changed the game with the way that the players can help move the rocks or keep them straight or whatever they need to do. It's definitely a lot different than it was 5-10 years ago, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Did you ever use the old hammer broom when it first came out?
No, I didn't. But I did use a horsehair for a while.
Oh yeah.
What brooms were the brooms that your team used when you were playing in juniors? Because I see these teams are both using the hardline brooms.
For the longest time, I had an 8-ender with the hog hair on it. Hair
Nice.
brooms, those were definitely a lot more common. I think hammers came out sometime when I was in junior curling, because I remember having one when I was a little bit older, maybe as a older teenager. But a lot of my career was I even stuck with the hog hair after I went back to a hog hair after I got rid of the hammer. So hair brooms were the broom that you could do things with before the technology came along with the new broom heads that they have nowadays, because you could scratch the ice with those old hair brooms. But I almost think that they outlawed them, if I'm correct.
They
And
did, they
yeah,
did. And now everyone uses the same fabric on their heads.
yeah,
I know in my first years of juniors, we were able to use different types of heads, like the hardline with the insert or the Norwegian head with the ridges. But now everyone across the board uses the approved yellow heads,
okay,
and they don't make things curl as much as the others did. Um, but they definitely provide uniformity in the sport. So,
right, for sure.
and I guess it's like anything. I know there was um, some upset curlers when they came out with those rules, but people brought it back to hockey and saying, there's rules for hockey sticks as to like
Hmm.
how much bend they can have and whatnot. All of our curling rocks are the same size. You can't just bring smaller rocks anymore. So
Yeah,
I can see where the broom heads aren't any different than our sport or other sports that have rules.
right, for sure. Well, when they first had these broom heads with the ridges on them, you could see a lot of the sweepers on the competitive teams could do things with the rocks you shouldn't be able to do. So,
Exactly.
which is, I'm sure, what led to them making this rule. So,
Exactly. And I think too, we look at the sweepers this evening and they're sweeping this rock so fantastically around that guard. Um, but with what we nickname the cheater heads,
hmm,
um, that rock would just be a completely different path. It might
yeah,
scratch the ice in a different way. It might do damage to the ice with how hard these girls are sweeping. So
yeah.
looks like Collider's opting to come around.
I'm not sure Dean likes that one though. He's getting ready to say something. He always waits till they have their final decision, so that's good. Oh, and here it comes. Clyder does have hammer here. I wonder if he's looking to play a hit on that to just open things up. If you hit the yellow on the nose, get rid of both the reds.
Yeah.
Lay two.
And I think those are your problem rocks right now. Those are the ones that are going to cause you some grief later on.
Yeah, for sure that red on the center line. Looks like they're maybe just looking to angle that yellow onto the red. I don't know if they're... Might be looking to just leave that one red when there is guard on their yellow. I'm not too sure. It's like the second last rock here. Looks like it might be a really good shot. Gets rid of the red, but it does leave the yellow there up by the center line. Just depends on what Pummeldy wants to do here. Looks like she's going to play the run back.
having left-handed curlers on your team always makes things look a little bit differently too, based on, the shots, what you can see versus what they can see from each of the hacks. So sometimes it's quite the weapon to have a left-handed curler.
Yes, for sure. So it's coming in the house. Looks a bit heavy. Looks like they've changed things up to the tap here. Not bad, but it does leave something for Pomildi to freeze to if she chooses to. Oh, she's still gonna. This is her third last rock. She has opted to play the draw. I mean, by leaving the Clader rocks in there, she's definitely going for the steal and the win here now.
That rock's really curling in a way that, oh, maybe it's fine. I thought the weight was coming off quicker than we had seen before.
Oh, ended up in a nice spot for her.
Ended up fantastically.
It's like Clader will. I'm not sure. She might be running that back. I think. Peel's okay too. Looks like it'll be the peel. What do you think now? Do you play the guard or do you hit that one in the back and just roll to the side? And you're kind of putting a lot of pressure on her to be able to get her deuce in this end, at least.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're going for the guard.
That's what it
But
looks.
I think you're right that the little hit and roll would make the deuce harder. So I think it's whatever you're most comfortable with leaving your opponent. Because with the guard on this one, she's having Maddie either go through the hole to tap hers back and out, or play something else.
Yeah, if she gets a good guard here, it'd definitely leave a tough shot for Clader to deal with that red one, because she does have to move it if she even wants to get her one here. It's a good guard. She guarded the right side there.
Absolutely.
I wonder if it's a little high and they're thinking they can get by there, tap that red out. That's what it looks like they're thinking about.
Yeah, I saw a signal for like a back line.
Oh.
But Jenna placed that guard almost perfectly.
Yeah. Just peel the front off instead.
Make her replace it.
It's another good shot because at least if you don't make the soft weight shot, you're kind of leaving yourself in big trouble with your last one. But this one, you open it up, make her replace it, and if she doesn't do it, put it back in the perfect spot, you might have a shot for the win. There we go. Got rid of it. Well, they're going to have a discussion. I would assume they would, because they threw the guard in the first one, they'll throw it again on this one, but
And that's where having the coach on the ice is so fantastic. It's just that extra level of comfort and support to say, well, you just threw it, so you can throw it again, and or, you know what, although you just threw it, let's play something else. But it looks like they're going to throw it again.
this is definitely their best chance to win it right now. Put up a good guard. Very tough shot for Kleider to even get her one to tie the game up. Time's definitely not a factor in this game. Over 4 minutes left for both teams. First signals are it might be a little bit heavy.
Definitely deeper than their last one.
Long as
it looks like they're bringing it right in here.
That's not bad. It still does the job.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not an easy shot here. But it would be for two.
Yeah, it is for 2. If you catch the yellow, it's for 1. Let's see what kind of weight she throws on it.
Now by that ice, it looks like she's going to be throwing normal for sure. It's going to be a close one. Wow. Great shot. Gets her deuce.
Fantastic.
Actually sticks
Actually,
around for 3. Yeah. That's make the final 8-6, as Vic Roder would say.
In handshakes, we have Kleider playing tomorrow at, do you know what time the games are at?
I believe that's the 10 a.m. game.
10 a.m. and then there's the 3 p.m. So for people at home, if you're wanting to tune in again, 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Correct. And then there's also a game at 8 p.m. That would be the playoffs starting. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for watching this evening.
Yes, have a good night.
So the unique thing about Stringham is although we've grown, we still maintain the small town law feel.
And it's important to Stringham to go into those communities, to provide those high-level legal services to our community members, and to live in those communities, to support those communities, and to help those communities grow and thrive.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.